Following question to Pope Francis. Holy Father, I am Jean. I hugged you in Rome a few years ago, but I didn't tell you my name because then I was too excited. I work in the University Center in Coimbra. I want to ask you a difficult question. In our speech at last Thursday's welcoming ceremony here in Lisbon, you said that we are all called as we are and that there is room for everyone in the Church. I do pastoral work every day with young university students, and among them there are many really good ones, very committed to the Church, to the Center, very friendly with the Jesuits, and who identified as homosexuals. They feel that they are an active part of the Church, but they often do not see in doctrine their way of living effectivity, and they do not see the call to chastity as a personal call to celibacy, but rather as an imposition. Since they are virtuous in other areas of their lives and know the doctrine, can we say that they are all in error because they do not feel in conscience that their relationships are sinful? And how can we act pastorally so that these people feel in their way of life called by God to a healthy, affective life that produces fruit? Should we recognize that their relationships can open up and give seeds of true Christian life, of true Christian love, such as the good they can accomplish, the response they can give to the Lord? Answer of the Pope. I believe there is no discussion about the call being addressed to everyone. Jesus is very clear about this. Everyone. The invited guests did not want to come to the banquet, so he sent out to the streets to call in everyone, so that it remains clear. Jesus says healthy and sick, righteous and sinners, everyone. In other words, the door is open to everyone. Everyone has their own space in the Church. How will each person live it out? We help people live so that they can occupy that place with maturity, and this applies to all kinds of people. In Rome, I know a priest who works with the young homosexuals. It is clear that today the issue of homosexuality is very strong, and the sensitivity in this regard changes according to historical circumstances. But what I don't like at all in general is that we look at the so-called sin of the flesh with a magnifying glass, just as we have done for so long for the sixth commandment. If you exploited workers, if you lied or cheated, it didn't matter, and instead sins below the waist were relevant. So everyone is invited. This is the point. And the most appropriate pastoral attitude for each person must be applied. We must not be superficial and naive, forcing people into things and behaviors for which they are not yet mature or are not capable. It takes a lot of sensitivity and creativity to accompany people spiritually and pastorally. But everyone is called to live in the Church. Never forget that. I take a cue from your question and want to add something else that concerns transgender people. The Wednesday general audiences are attended by a Charles de Foucault sister, Sister Geneviève, who is in her 80s and is a chaplain at the circus in Rome with two other sisters. They live in a mobile home next to the circus. One day I went to visit them. They have a little chapel, a kitchen, sleeping area, everything well organized. And that nun also works a lot with people who are transgender. One day she said, "Can I bring them to the audience?" "Sure," I answer her. "Why not?" And groups of trans come all the time. The first time they came, they were crying. I was asking them why. One of them told me, "I didn't think the Pope would receive me." Then, after the first surprise, they made a habit of coming. Some write to me, and I email them back. Everyone is invited. I realized that these people feel rejected, and it is really hard.